Okay, guys, I am coming to you from the Heart Center in my fairy garden, and I wanted to take you on a little tour. And this is my very first video doing something like this. I figured I would kind of do a little bit of a scan for you and tell you what's going on. I'm going to start over here, which is where the little mermaid is kind of hanging out in the pool of water, and you see you can take a look and see where the gnome is kind of taking a look at her, and there's a pansy in the back. I really wanted to do this to show you the mystical, magical land of fairy and make-believe. I call this my gay gnomes dancing, having a good old time. And in the back there is some little areas. You can see the mushroom house and the fairy there. I wanted to invite you into my little playhouse and imagination in hopes that maybe it inspires you for some kind of play and creativity. This is my favorite area right here. I'm gonna zoom back, and this is where we have a little bit of a union going on between a fairy and a gnome. And you can almost see there's you might have to scroll in or zoom in a little bit yourself, but there's actually somebody playing the fiddle. There's a woman on the bridge who is she's officiating the ceremony, and then you see her two flower girls, and there's also a gnome that's saying welcome. On the bench is a couple watching, and if you were here, you would see that there's an older gnome there, which is probably the father, who is also kind of like, saying yay to this marriage as well. In the back is another really cool area. I don't know if you can make that out. It's three fairies sitting around a little globe. It actually is like the world, and they're sending healing and prayers. You might be able to, you can almost see it. Again, I apologize because I've never really done this kind of video before. And then I also thought, really, I just wanted to break down each of these little scenes. In the back here is a garden shed, and there's a fairy on the top. And actually, once again, if you were to come here, there's literally a face. And what I'll do is I'll take a couple of these pictures to go along with this video. There's a face in that piece of wood, and it says "Gnome, sweet gnome," and there's a little fairy sitting on the stone. And then this is a cute little area as well. I kind of call it it's like the broken down library, which I took up, obviously I took a planter and did that. And there's a Pegasus, and there's a little girl who's sitting reading a book. Here's another area. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit so you can see there's a husband and wife. They're definitely of the mushroom kind. There is right here, there's a turtle walking through or going through the tunnel, and the little gnome is saying welcome. And this is like my little stone hedge area where I put a whole bunch of stones, very special stones, and you can see there's a sleeping fairy there. There's another area I want to show you, and I consider this almost like, how this is like the metropolitan area where it's got that big like condominium or the big building, and so there's a dragon that is overlooking. There's the unicorn. There's two fairies sitting on a bench, and once again there's a big swimming pool right in the metropolitan area. So that kind of takes you through my whole little fairy garden area. And I put this in, and I'm curious, this is kind of like my pink cathedral. And I'm wondering, do I leave this pink cathedral, yay or nay? And do you have any ideas? Like, how do I dress it up? How do I make it more a part of this fairy village? Once again, I will go through this area, and I want you to know that I absolutely love doing this. This is so much fun for me. I have expanded on this through the years. We actually have, so lamb's ear is one of the fairies' favorite plants, because of course they can Ride on the Lamb. That's in the back. And these pansies are literally from last year. They just never died. There's little pansies here. There's little pansies in the back. I don't know if you can see them. They're all the way in the back. There's a bird. So yeah, I just really have a blast doing this, and I am available for consultations. And here's another thing, if you want to stop in and see my fairy garden and make wishes right here, right? Little wishes. Throw some pennies into the garden or talk to the fairies. I am here. So thanks so much for coming along on this lovely little fairy tour and fairy journey with me. And I hope all of your wishes and dreams and blessings come true. And don't stop believing.